Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, first let me give a shout out to subscriber Ed Clark. He sent me this article here, and it's saying that Joseph Parker will not be fighting in December. We know he had a successful title defense against mandatory challenger Hughie Fury, and the plans were for them to fight in Japan against Kayotaro Fujimoto. But according to this article, they were in advanced negotiations with Fujimoto, but they could not get a TV deal in place for such a short notice fight. All right, so I'm gonna read a little bit of what Dave Higgins had to say, and I'm gonna read a little bit of what trainer Kevin Berry said. All right, this is Dave Higgins. He said the Japanese were very good and solid. They were very respectful and real in their wish to stage a fight there. But their feedback and sounding out their broadcasters and sponsors was that because Fujimoto's profile is still building there and boxing hasn't really been a big since Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson there, they couldn't quite put enough money on the table. All right. He also goes on to say, according to this article, they said Higgins had some alternatives like heading to Russia to take on Alexander Povetkin, but that also had its obstacles as well. And we know Povetkin will be fighting Christian Hammer. That's the fight that's going to be made, and I'm sure it will be a WBO eliminator type of fight. All right, but he goes on to say, for us, it was, do we rush something at short money and risk the world title, or do we take our time and mount something on our terms? Everyone in the team is quite comfortable with this decision. Look, if we got an offer we couldn't refuse tomorrow, we might be back for December. But at this stage, realistically, we are looking at doing something on our terms in February or March. It certainly won't be Anthony Joshua, though. Eddie Hearn is dreaming with what he put out in the media. All right. And that was to regards of Hearn saying that Parker would only get 20% of a deal if they were to fight each other. And Dave Higgins is not fond of that idea. All right. Let me see here. Higgins also says, one thing we have agreed on is that we want Joe to stay fit between camps, not just during camps. That's the smart thing to do. I would hope a world champion or any professional fighter, but especially a world title holder, will stay fit in between fights. You know what I mean? That's just the smart thing to do. And you have to put your body through such a grueling training camp just to lose weight. You can go in there and not cut as much weight and just practice on the things you need to become a better fighter. Working on your skill, your footwork, head movement, combination punching, so on and so forth. All right. Let me see here. So Kevin Berry went on to say, we have decided we have run out of time this year. It's important that we have Joe ready for a big year next year. There's a lot at stake next year. We have to make big decisions. We need good performances. So as a team, we are getting together, putting a plan in place that will give us a chance of getting amongst these big fights in 2018. All right. Let me skip some of this, man. He says, we have options that Wilder is definitely one of our options. All right. I could make Deontay Wilder fight tomorrow if I wanted to. We have an excellent relationship with their team. Jay Diaz, Wilder's coach, is a classy guy, a guy I have a lot of respect for as a manager-trainer. Al Heyman, I've had several conversations with over the last 12 months also. All right, so, So his team is claiming that they can make a fight with Deontay Wilder tomorrow. I mean, you guys know how I feel about all this, man. I just feel like a broken record now. I mean, obviously, the number one fight I would want is Wilder versus Joshua. If that fight doesn't come about, then of course I'm all for unification, man. So if Parker and his team can make a fight with Deontay Wilder tomorrow, and if he has to get past Vernon in this rematch, which I think he will, but he has to get it done first in the ring. Anything can happen. If he gets that fight and AJ goes a different direction, Parker would have taken care of his mandatory. Wilder would have taken care of his mandatory. So he's open for a voluntary defense. Let's try to make the unification fight. Only because, you said that you can make the fight tomorrow. Now, because he said that, do I think that'd be Parker's next fight? No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't think it will be. I'll be surprised. I'll want it. Sign me up for it. But I don't think it'd be his next fight. So I guess we'll see what Parker plans to do, man. Whether he comes back in February or March. I'm assuming. Let's pull up the WBO rankings. Although these rankings can change come February or March. Um, let's see here. Heavyweight. Christian Hammer's number 1. Tom Schwartz is number 2. Dominic Brazil 3. Jarrell Miller 4. A lot of these guys have fights coming up. Brazil has the title eliminator bout against Eric Molina coming up for the WBC. Miller has a fight with what's my man's name? Marius Wack coming up on November 11th. You got Dillian Whitehair number 5, who's also highly rated by the WBC, and he has a fight coming up with Helenius on Saturday. Povetkin's going to have the fight supposedly with Christian Hammer. Fujimoto right there at number 7. Zhili Zhang right there number 8. Or Zhili Zhang in China. I preferred that fight over Fujimoto in Japan if they were going to go this route of fighting somebody in the lower half of the top 15. But these rankings have changed because Fujimoto was ranked number 9 when they first started talking about this fight. And Zhili Zhang was rated a little bit lower than number 8. All right, but then you got Carlos Takam, number 9. He's getting ready to fight AJ. Huey Fury already fought him. Ajay Caballo's getting ready to fight Derek Chisora November 11th for the EBU title. Otto Wallen, a Swedish prospect. Amir Mansour. I would love to see Amir Mansour get a shot. Luis Ortiz, number 14. We know what happened with him. And Andy Ruiz Jr. Ruiz at 14. And Ortiz, at 14. And Ruiz at 15. All right. A lot of people thought the Ruiz and Parker fight was very close. I thought it was close. I edged it to Parker 7 rounds to 5, but it was a close fight. So I don't know, man. Amir Mansour would be a good option in February or March when he comes back. I guess we'll see what happens, man. I'm just getting this initial news out there that Joseph Parker will not be fighting in December unless something very, something lucrative comes up and they'll change their mind. Also, don't forget about Lucas Brown. Although he's not rated in the top 15 right here, I think Brown is rated in the WBA. I forget. I've totally forgot. Maybe he's not. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm doing this video on top of my head, man. But I know Brown. They're talking about him fighting Sergey Kuzmin. So I guess we'll see. But that whole rivalry between New Zealand and Australia, I think it'd be big for their region, for them. I think it'd be a big fight down there. But I guess we'll have to just sit back and wait, right? We can speculate all we want. But what caught my attention about the article is, his team saying that they can make a fight with Wilder tomorrow. So, according to them, they can make that fight pretty easy. So, I guess we'll see what's going to go on, man. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section about this. I'm gone.